You don't make $30 an hour. You just think you do, because once we count the cost nobody counts, your paycheck can collapse to $4 an hour. And it's going to make you angry. Picture this, because I guarantee it's happened to you in the last month. It's 5:30 p.m. on a Friday. You've just finished the 4-5-hour week. You're physically in your car or on a train, but mentally, you're gone, brain fried, body dragging, patience at zero. You're driving home and the idea of cooking feels like climbing Mount Everest with a backpack full of bricks. So you do what most people do. You open the delivery app. Thai food, pizza burgers, something quick, something comforting. And somehow, it's $45 after the fees and the tip. Then you get home. You crack open a beer or pour a glass of wine to take the edge off. You drop into the couch and binge a show you don't even like because you don't want entertainment, and you tell yourself the magic sentence, I earned this, I worked hard all week. But here's where it gets scary. What if you didn't just spend $45? What if that $45 was only the receipt and the real cost was hidden in places you never thought to look? Because the pizza isn't the full bill. The bill includes the gas you burned just to get home, the clothes you bought to look professional, the commuting time you donated for free, the stress that drained you so badly you couldn't cook in the first place. Those aren't life expenses, those are work expenses. And when you add them up, they don't just reduce your salary a little, they can quietly reduce it by 50%, 60%, even close to 70%. Which means you might believe you're earning $30 an hour, but the real math can prove you're working for less than $10, sometimes less than $5. My name is Dave, and I'm obsessed with the invisible equations that trap hardworking people on hamster wheels that speed up just enough that you can't ever catch up. If you've ever looked at your paycheck and wondered where it all goes, or you feel like you're working harder in late 2025 than ever before but your savings account is flat, subscribe, because today we're not talking about investing. We're talking about an accounting fraud, not one committed by a corporation. One, you're unknowingly committing against yourself every time you accept a job offer based on your gross salary. In this video, we're calculating your real hourly wage. And I need to warn you, once you see your number, you'll never look at a price tag the same way again. Here's the lie we're sold the moment we leave school. Your value equals your annual salary. If you make $65,000 a year, that's roughly $31 an hour. Sounds decent. Respectable, doing okay. But in the business world, looking at revenue without expenses is how companies go bankrupt. If a bakery sells $1 million of bread, but spends $1 million on flour, rent, equipment and labor, the bakery is worth zero. It's busy, it's exhausted, it's broke. Yet when it comes to our own labor, we do the exact thing we'd call stupid in business. We only look at the revenue salary, we ignore the expenses. And the product being sold isn't bread, it's you, your time, your energy, your sanity, your life. So let's do a brutal audit of the average worker. We'll call him James. James makes that respectable $31 an hour. But before it even hits his account, taxes take a bite. Federal, state, FICA. His $31 becomes around $24. That's the obvious math. The real damage comes next, because now we subtract the cost James pays, only because he has the job. First, the commute. Gas, insurance, wear and tear, parking, or train passes. Either way, the average American spends thousands just to get to the building where they earn money. Conservatively, $4,000 a year. And that's if nothing breaks. Then the cost of appearance. James can't show up in pajamas. He needs work clothes, shoes, haircuts, dry cleaning. Professional has a monthly payment plan. Then comes the convenience tax, the one that quietly murders your paycheck. Because James is stuck at work all day, he buys lunch because meal prep didn't happen. He buys the $5 coffee because he's running on fumes. He pays for the dog walker because he's not home. These costs don't exist because James is irresponsible. They exist because James is occupied. He's spending money to keep functioning in a system that drains his time. And then there's the darkest category, decompression spending. This is the money you spend to numb the job, the Friday night bar tab, the treat-yourself shopping, the impulse vacation because you need to feel alive again. The therapy bills, the subscriptions you barely use, the little dopamine hits that keep you from breaking. When you add it all up, taxes, commuting, appearance, convenience, decompression, James isn't really taking home $65,000. His net real income might be closer to $35,000. But we're still not done. Because wage isn't just money. Wage is money divided by time. And just like we overestimate money, we massively underestimate time. HR says James works 40 hours a week, but that's a corporate fairy tale. James wakes up early to shower, shave, iron a shirt. That's time the job demands. He commutes 30 minutes each way, unpaid. He has a lunch break, but he can't go home, can't nap, can't live. He's captive near the office. He gets home and doesn't instantly recover. He decompresses, he vents, he scrolls, he checks emails. His body stays in fight or flight. That's shadow work. Time that belongs to the job, even if the job refuses to admit it. So James isn't working 40 hours a week. He's dedicating 55 to 60. Now we do the real calculation. Take the net real income, $35,000. Divide it by the true hours committed. Close to 3,000 hours a year once you count all the shadow time. And that $31 an hour evaporates. Suddenly James is making $11 an hour, or $9. Or in some high-cost, high-stress situations, he is mathematically earning less than the teenager flipping burgers down the street, because the teenager walks to work, wears a uniform, and leaves the stress at the grill. This is the work scam. You've been tricked into a high-churn, low-margin business model where you are the product and you're selling yourself at a loss. Now I know what you're thinking. Great, Dave. I'm broke and my job sucks. Thanks. But we don't do this math to get depressed. We do it to get powerful. Because once you know your real hourly wage, your entire view of consumerism changes. This was popularized by Your Money or Your Life, and it's a cheat code for escaping broke behavior. If your real wage is $10 an hour and you see shoes for $100, that's not $100. That's 10 hours of your life, 10 hours of commuting, 10 hours of meetings, 10 hours of stress, 10 hours away from the people you love. Is it worth it? Most of the time the answer becomes obvious. And this exposes the golden handcuffs. People take promotions for more money, while their real hourly wage goes down. Because the raise comes with longer hours, more takeout, nicer required clothes, higher stress, more decompression spending. You're not earning more. You're just moving more money through your hands while keeping less of it and losing more of your life. And there's another cost hiding behind all of it. Compound interest. That $5 coffee you buy because you're exhausted? If it's daily, invested over decades, the opportunity cost becomes enormous. You're not just drinking coffee, you're drinking your retirement, you're drinking your freedom. The system relies on one thing: you being too tired to do the math. They want you to think, I make good money, so you keep signing leases and financing cars and upgrading your lifestyle. So you need the job to pay for the things you bought to tolerate the job. So, what's the solution? It's not quitting tomorrow and living in the woods. We're adults. We have bills. The solution is to optimize the only metric that actually matters: your real hourly wage, not income. Efficiency. Can you negotiate working from home 2 days a week? You just save commuting time, gas, maybe lunches. Massive raise without your company paying you $1 extra. Can you meal prep on Sunday? That cuts your convenience tax. Can you cut work expense creep? Clothes, lunches, subscriptions, recovery spending? Every dollar you cut is a dollar of freedom. But the bigger shift is psychological. Start treating your labor like a business. A smart business doesn't only increase revenue, it increases margin. Your life is the business. Your margin is the time and money you have left over to be a human being. If you make $100K but spend $95K and give up 80 hours a week to generate it, you're not thriving. You're a failing business with good marketing. But if you make $50,000, spend $20,000 and work 30 hours a week, you're profitable, you're durable, you're winning. So here's your assignment. This weekend, when you're fresh, run the numbers. Estimate taxes. Calculate commuting costs. Add the work clothes. Be honest about convenience spending. Be brutally honest about decompression spending. Then count your true hours committed, including shadow work. Divide net real pay by true hours. Write that number down. Put it on your credit card. My real wage is $35,000. Because the next time you're about to buy something dumb, you won't just see a price. You'll see hours of your life. And that friction will save you more than any budgeting app ever could. Time is becoming the ultimate currency. The rich buy time. The poor sell it at a discount. Don't sell your time at a discount. Audit your life. Cut the vampire costs. Build the gap between what you earn and what you spend, because that gap is where your freedom lives. If this made you rethink your paycheck, share it with one coworker who always looks exhausted. We're in the same trap, but we can math our way out together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.